Yo. Yo, what's going on, Goo Gang? I got another gooey video for you guys. This one focusing on weapon damage for our flubber friend here. This build is going to be focusing on projectile velocity as well as close range damage, sliding, and speed. But before we get into it, help your boy out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more gooey content. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm posting and when I'm going live. I hope to see you in the comments as well as the chat. Looking forward to interacting with you all. But without further ado, let's dive right into it. We're going to talk about our weapons first. We're going full goo power here. Our main source of damage is going to be our left click. So we want those shots flying. We want those goos gooing. You're shooting flubber around. You ever seen that scene in the movie where he's bouncing around the whole room? Picture that, you're just shooting him. So to start it off, we're starting in lane with high velocity mag. We're cranking up the projectile speed with this because when you're gooing people, you want a splatter to hit them fast. No slow motion goo fights here. Then straight into close quarters. This is a close range build, so we're all about being in their face, hitting them with all those goo shots for maximum splatter. You want to be sure. You want to be so close that they can practically smell the slime. Now, for some sustain in lane, we're going to go with melee life steal. Why not get some health back when you're hitting them with a smack? Smack someone with your gooey slap and boom, instant sustain. Call it the flubber punch if you want. We're also going to go with mystic burst and extra spirit. You're going to be maxing splatter first in this game, and we want the splatter to do some decent damage. We're not going full spirit here, so your splatter won't be doing as much damage if you were doing that kind of build, but we can't have the splatter doing negative damage, so we need to be buffing it in some way. So the added burst and the added spirit damage makes your splatter literally explosive. When enemies get hit, you won't be tickling them, and it's only 1,000 souls for this, okay? You're also going to be going for extra stamina and sprint boost. Now, this build is made for you to slide around smoothly, focus on speed and stamina. We're going to be sliding more than a kid in a slip and slide, but in this case, taking enemies down with every slide, gooing all over them, okay? Extra stamina. We need the extra stamina for all the sliding we're going to be doing. A lot of dashing, a lot of dash jumps, and we want to be fast, fast, fast. You're basically a booger on roller skates. We're also going to be getting sprint boots and eventually upgrading him into enduring speed. We want to be as fast as possible in the early and mid game to allow us to gank other lanes and just to move around the map quicker so we can farm. We're taking speed to the next level with these bad boys. Faster movements means faster sliding as well. So faster sliding means more goo because you get infinite ammo while you're sliding. It's all about the goo here. Once you get all those, you're ready for your early to mid game section. You're going to be going for Swift Striker first. We want to shoot as fast and keep shooting. So we're using Swift Striker to increase our fire rate as well as our ammo capacity. Then we're going to go into Bullet Resist Shredder. This makes sure enemies take even more damage from your goo. The more you goo on them, the easier they melt. We're shredding their resistances faster than a sneeze can leave a tissue with this, okay? So every time you're doing spirit damage here, they're going to have their bullet resist decreased by 12% for a total of 8 seconds. That's plenty of time for you to goo over them, okay? I finished faster than 8 seconds before. Straight into Quicksilver Reload. Imbue an ability with the bonus spirit damage on first hit, and you're going to imbue this on your splatter. So no reloads are necessary with this build. We're taking the goo that is flowing and we're going to make it even faster by eliminating the reloads. Who has time to reload when you're trying to goo everyone? Then we're gonna get combat barrier because nothing says unstoppable like a goo with a shield. And yes, it boosts your fire rate while shielded, meaning more goo shots per second. Your left click is going to be crazy fast once you get a couple of these items here already. The shield is nice to have as well, and you get increased weapon damage while shielded, so you want to try to remain shielded as much as possible, which I'll teach you how to later on in the video. Then we're going to go for the Fleet Foot, which is going to increase our slide distance by 25%. We're gonna combo this with burst fire, which increases your slide distance by 50%. You're gonna get an increase of 75% slide distance. We want to be fast and keep on moving, so fleet allows you to keep moving if there's no way for you to slide. With all the stamina you have, you're gonna be sliding no matter what. You'll have enough stamina to continue to dash, slide all over your enemies. This also increases your mag by 30% temporarily once you activate this ability. So this in turn increases your ammo capacity. If you have nowhere to slide, say you're out of stamina and you want to keep on shooting, you can pop this, continue to move while shooting. With this 75 increase in slide distance, longer slides mean more damage you deal. This combo basically turns Flubber Jr. here into a high-speed gooey blender of destruction. Into intensifying magazine, this is where your damage is going to go through the roof. This will also increase your ammo by 25% with your weapon damage, but once you fire for 3 seconds or longer, you'll get a 75% weapon damage bonus. That is crazy. So to increase your damage the longer we shoot, again, translation, more goo equals more damage. We have the slides here for the infinite ammo on burst fire and fleet foot. We're going to be shooting long and hitting hard. Finish that off with head hunter, increasing our bullet velocity even more by 50%. So we're going to be shooting our goo blast faster. Headshots also mean lifesteal, so aim for the head. You get that sweet goo powered health regen, and of course headshot bonus damage by 140. Very nice. Additionally, you also get movement speed because this build is all about sliding around and being fast. This increases our movement speed even further. At this point, we're going to be wanting to upgrade our Mystic Burst and improve Spirit, so that way our splatter isn't lacking in too much damage. Okay, we have the combat barrier we got earlier. This will in turn increase your bullet shield again by 200 and give you a nice spirit shield, increasing your ammo and your weapon damage. Also, you'll get a nice movement speed buff, a nice bullet shield, and it grants you an additional fire rate as well. Going to be splattering everywhere. All your goo is going to go on all your enemies. It's going to be a crazy scene. Remember, combat barrier gives you increased weapon damage and fire rate while you're shielded. So all you really have to do is pop through another Cosmic Veil. It is an 18-second cooldown. It's not too long. Gives you back your 500 bullet shield. You're going to be winning all your gunfights with this. Straight into point blank, so we can start to slow our enemies on hit as well as do increase damage close range. We're going to be all in on this close range. The closer you are, the harder you'll hit. Plus, it applies a movement speed slow, which basically means they're stuck in your goo trap while you keep blasting them. It's like trying to run in quicksand covered in green boogers. You can also go for the pristine emblem here to increase our damage to enemies who are above 50% health. The healthier your enemies are, the harder you're going to goo on them. You can either pick between Lucky Shot for the increased ammo capacity or Ricochet. Lucky Shot, you want more ammo, more damage. Lucky Shot gives you just that. So when you're firing, you'll have plenty of extra goo rounds to keep pressure on. Ever wanted to have your goo shots bounce around and hit your enemies? Well, then you're gonna take this bad boy. Your goo is like a pinball bouncing off of one enemy and hitting the next, and you'll be gooing down the entire squad with a single shot. Okay, I do recommend you get leech so you can have some kind of sustain. Without it, you don't really have much of sustain at all. You're going to be selling melee lifesteal. You could get bullet lifesteal, but I typically don't really need it in the early and mid game because of the combat barrier. Once you have a team fight, you may be low. You have your cube to heal you up as well, but leech, once you get leech, it's just like kind of crazy the amount you heal. And then you're going to finish this build off with Boundless Spirit to increase your spirit damage full through. I just want to explain some key points here. You're going to engage with a full mag, okay, especially in your early to mid game here. Once you start to get Quicksilver reload and bullet resist shredder, once you're here, you can engage with a full mag, right? You're peppering them down. You get a nice fire rate increase here. Let's say you do some decent damage, you're winning the gunfight, you position a nice puddle punch on them, pushing them either towards you or wherever you want them to go, so you can land your splatter. That's your first ability. You'll use that to reset your reload and increase your fire rate as well as reduce their bullet resist, okay? And after that, they're just going to be taking insane amount of damage, especially in the late game. Once you start to get your slide distance increased with fleet footwork and burst fire, you're going to be sliding for max damage. You're going to be sliding everywhere, dash, slide, whatever. When you engage on someone, slide. Eventually, you won't even need to reload because you're going to be sliding so much. It's like you have infinite ammo in your clips. So you'll do some decent damage, but once you feel like you need to increase your fire rate for some more damage or bring their bullet resist down, you can throw your splatter out for that. But this build is highly reliant on you making sure you land your splatter to reduce the bullet resist. Once you get intensifying magazine, you're going to be doing crazy amount of weapon damage. Headhunter, once you hit those headshots, while you're sliding as well, if you can position yourself nicely to do so. It might be hard to aim for how fast you're moving, so make sure you're practicing your aiming. I'm not even the best shooter, okay? I miss my majority of my shots, but this build is just crazy in terms of the damage you can do. Combine that with your puddle punches and combine that with your cubes, you're good to go. Now, being that your weapon damage, you want to be in regular form at all times, so goo ball should only be used situationally or to get away. You'll have 2 get out of jail free cards with this build. You have your cube as well as your goo ball, so use those sparingly. I did not find myself really using the goo ball that much, only situationally, like say you're in close quarters, being that my damage is just so crazy high with my weapon that you want to be making sure you're shooting as much as possible. And there you have it, the ultimate goo slinging, slide loving gun build. This setup is all about speed, splatter, and not taking yourself too seriously, because if you're gonna goo your enemies, you might as well be having fun doing it. Remember that. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching me goo all over the place, and subscribe for more crazy builds. If you got any goo related puns, drop them in the comments. I want to see how many ways we can stretch this goo thing. Until next time, stay slippery. Peace.